born in a small town, coffee growing town in Colombia. The name is Lebanon. You want to laugh a little bit? My family, we are 12 kids.
You're one of 12?
Yeah, one of 12. You know, my parents were very poor, and I don't know really how they made it. You know, every one of us went to high school, and everyone except two went to university. You know, and you know, I came to this country first in 1969, after I have finished my DVM in Colombia. I applied for an assistantship on scholarship at that time. There used to be plenty of assistantships and scholarships at that time with the international programs. And I came to the Texas A&M University, where I got my master's degree. In 1971, I went back to Colombia. I was working for the government, the Colombian Agricultural Institute, which is like the USDA here. You know, I was working for them. I came to the University of Nebraska first for a 1 month quick English training, and then I went to Texas A&M, which you know, I have a lot of good things at that time. You know, just sitting down in a biology class and being able to understand all the technical vocabulary and all that, but very difficult for me to express that. You know, you could understand, but it's very difficult to ask questions or to even to write in the exams. So I came here to Georgia for my PhD. They used to bring chickens to that laboratory, and I was the one preparing the chickens. You know, if I have to kill them or have to organize and do necropsies and have everything ready for him, more or less as the system we have here. You know, the graduate students go there to the necropsy room, they prepare everything, and then the professor come and so just make the final decisions and comment and all that. So I was like the helper for this professor, and then you know, he was working well in all species, but mainly in chickens, and that's when I decided that was going to be my area. You know, everyone knows Dr. Casuelitzo. He was a professor here. He was probably the person who worked more in one disease that produced tumors in chickens, and he was working on a vaccine. So he went to Colombia to give a presentation, and I was asked to translate for him. Started talking and said, what are your plans? I said, I'm trying to get an assistantship to go get my PhD. He said, why don't you go to Georgia? I said, well, I'm ready to go to Georgia. You know, at that time I already have read so many publications coming from this department, which probably at that time it was not the #1 in the world like it is today, but it was very, very important. So when I got my assistantship, I wrote to Dr. Cleven, who was the head of the department. I said, I'm ready to go. So and I came. My PhD dissertation was in Newcastle disease with Dr. Cleven here. Dr. Anderson, who was our dean for 21 years, at that time he was a professor here. And we worked together vaccinating chickens. At that time the spray vaccination was just beginning, and I did that. That was my dissertation. You know, I started doing a lot of work there. I was teaching, I was doing research, I was consulting, I was doing so many things there, you know, because you have you have a degree, and you see the need, and you want to say yes to everyone. So I made that mistake, but we did a lot of things. Yeah. I found Newcastle disease in turkeys, and I determined that it was a virus of Newcastle of very low pathogenicity. It was, in other words, harmless. And I inoculated chickens and detected antibodies against Newcastle. Only 5 chickens that I had at that time, SPF chickens. And then I challenged those chickens with the with the pathogenic virus, and the chicken survived. So that was the beginning of one vaccine that is used today all over the world. The commercial name is Avenue. With this vaccine that we develop here, the respiratory reaction decreases tremendously because the virus multiplies in the intestinal tract and then goes to the respiratory tract, the other way around. So that's the advantage of this product, you know. So I see an industry that is going to keep on growing, because we need to grow to feed the world. I have to do it over, you know. I would spend more time when my kids were small. You know, I was traveling, I was doing consulting and all this, and I regret that. But my kids tell me very quickly, you know, if you have not done that, you wouldn't have that. We wouldn't have the luxuries of, you know. I used to take my kids every year to Colombia in the summer for the language. I remember I was driving from here to Atlanta and they were fighting in the back in English. 2 months later, picked them up and they were fighting in the back in Spanish. So